Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
The Sports Desk is proudly presented by Car Crafters. It's like it never happened.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Perez Collision Center is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks and Albuquerque Boxing. Perez Collision Center offers expert knowledge on any of your auto body and paint needs. Give them a call today, 505-254-4655, or stop by for a visit at 2415 2nd Street Northwest in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Perez Collision Center. The Albuquerque Dragway is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks. Visit abqdragway.com for directions and a full event schedule.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm Ed Nunez. Our special guest today is ProView color analyst, my good friend Roger Holian. Raj, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're going to have a preview of New Mexico Lobo football. They play Sam Houston State this Saturday at 4. And I'll tell you what, I heard Jeff Symbieta this morning and J.J. Buck talking about the game. And Sam Houston State is going to be a tough opponent. They're going to be tough. A sure win. We want sure wins here. We want, we'll talk about the state of the program, what it means coming off back-to-back 3 and 9. Sideline, living all of it on the road. You were with the Lobos. A lot of stories I've heard, great ones.
Absolutely. A lot of relationships met, and you are right. Of course, I'm writing for the Mountain West Wire now, and then covering the Lobos football team and all the different fluctuations that have happened the last couple of years. But college football is college football. I'm excited to be watching the Lobos again this year.
Football is awesome, and you and I have spent so many times, so many games working together. You're a great color analyst, Gosh, you always tell me about the A gaps and the linebackers coming up. You know the game.
Appreciate it.
It's always great to have you on. We missed you last weekend. I actually used former Highland head coach Kerry Sanchez, and he's awesome too, man. He knows his stuff too.
Of course, we've known each other since junior high, just about.
Oh yeah, very many
Highland,
years. And we were just talking about Highland football. They beat Rio Grande. We'll get into some scores later. We're former Highland alumni, and they got some more players to try out. I think that's awesome. I really do. I'm going to the assembly later today at 1. I'm going to go there and show my support for Highland.
Awesome.
They play Valencia this weekend. But first, our great producer, Aldi Iwani, has some highlights for you from our games this weekend. We're going to take a look first at Volcano Vista versus La Cueva. What a game this was. Let's take a look. Nacho, the kicker for La Cueva. I think he had 4 field goals. He's one of the best kickers in the state. That one was plenty of leg to spare there.
Very accurate.
I think Naz Robertson, the Cueva receiver, might have got hurt. There's Connor O'Toole, and we know what kind of weapon he is.
Oh, yeah.
Touchdown for look at that kid.
11 or 12 D1 offers, I believe.
6'4", 220, speed, the whole thing. There's Volcano Vista. Diego Pavia didn't play last year. The transfer from St. Pius, an easy 2-yard touchdown. There's Camacho again. What a weapon he's going to be. An easy field goal there for La Cueva.
You like that read option. You see the...
He twisted, ooh, and that's a late hit there, but I don't know if they flagged him for that or not. But Pavia twisted his ankle. They actually had to go to their 3rd-string quarterback here. We'll get to that in a moment, but this kid is going to be one of the, there's Camacho with another field goal. And Raj, it's good and bad because if you're kicking a lot of field goals, that means you're not scoring touchdowns.
Absolutely.
But he's a weapon.
Of course, he had to sit out a year, right? Because he transferred from...
Pavia.
Pavia.
Yeah, but Camacho, I mean, kicking all those field goals is good and bad because you want touchdowns.
But the quarterback had to sit out a year because of the transfer rule.
Diego Pavia did.
And a
He
lot
had
of
to sit
people
out.
were saying, would he be as effective?
Against bigger competition, and he was.
Yep.
He really was. He had a great game.
Nice.
There's another easy score off tackle for Volcano Vista, dressed in gray. Another field goal here for Dominic Camacho. This kid's a great kicker. He's going to get a college scholarship. We know that. Little jet sweep.
There you go.
Around the left end. Oh, nice stiff arm there, Raj. And that's a great finish there at the end. There's the La Cueva quarterback. That was the last play, and Volcano Vista ends up beating La Cueva, number 1 La Cueva, 36-25. James Otis might have had Volcano Vista number 1, but they beat La Cueva 36-25. Great game. Let's go to our second game, which was Albuquerque High, in a game that myself and Gary Sanchez did. It was shortened by lightning, 17-7. Albuquerque High leads. I don't know what they're going to do. They're probably just going to say, that's good speed. There's that's a great defensive play by Valley around the edge. Deshaun Fuentes, the Albuquerque High sophomore quarterback, has great speed. Great speed, good arm. He's mechanically unsound at times, but this kid is going to be something special. And there's a fumble there by Fuentes, and Valley did recover, and I believe they capitalized. They had to go to their 2nd-string quarterback, Noah Torres, and an interception there by Albuquerque High. Roger, they've got some more numbers in the program. A good run up the middle by Jesse Murphy from Valley.
Big kid.
They've got some size.
Yep.
And this is a great play. Watch this play by Noah Torres. He just waited to the last second for a touchdown. And this is Deshaun Fuentes, the kid. Watch him in the open field. This kid has got, look at this. This kid is going to be something special. He really is. He's got a lot of speed, and he's going to make a big difference. Albuquerque High has some size on both lines as well. So that game there, 17-7, I guess they're probably going to go with that result. It called because of lightning in the 3rd quarter. Let's go to our 3rd game, Las Cruces and Manzano. They played on Friday night, and Las Cruces ended up beating, West Mesa El Dorado. West Mesa, El Dorado beat West Mesa. They 50-pointed them. New offense there for El Dorado head coach Charlie Dotson. He brought in the Belen coach, and they really put it on West Mesa, Raj.
Wow. That's kind of scary seeing the Belen offense on El Dorado now, because Belen traditionally has always been able to score points.
They had Diego Casillas for many years. There's an interception for the burnt orange. They got some new uniforms, too. Gary Sanchez told me he sold them the uniforms from Garden Schwartz. He does such a great job over there. Another nice move in the hole there by the El Dorado running back. So West Mesa's down a little bit. They lost some numbers from last year, and El Dorado really took it to them here.
Do you like those uniforms? They're nice.
You know what? Those are tradition, right?
Yep.
Burnt orange.
Burnt orange.
That's just a beautiful pitch and catch there. Another easy touchdown for the Eagles. As again, I think they 50-pointed them at half, I'm pretty sure. Third quarter. Our producer, Alden Iowani, corrects me. There's a final score for.
Strong kid, look at that.
Well, that's a beautiful run there. Gets it all the way. Did he get in the end zone? Okay, got to the one. This is the last play here.
There it is.
So El Dorado 50, West Mesa nothing. And our next highlight, Alden? Las Cruces Manzano. Las Cruces ends up beating Manzano 55-27. Big run up the middle there by one of the Bulldogs.
Great speed.
They always have great team speed, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and, Alden, there's Jace Melfi, the Manzano quarterback, and watch that play there. His mom just sent me the highlight of that. Just sent me that.
Speaking of speed,
Yeah, Jace Melfi, he's the new quarterback for Manzano, and that's just a great open field run there. Richard Tripp and Bruce Carver had the call for you at Wilson Stadium. Another score from Manzano. That might be Erickson. I didn't get to catch all the scores, but just another great run there by. But I'll tell you what, Las Cruces scored a lot of points here. 55 points in the game, and there's another pitch and catch. Beautiful, nice throw, perfect.
didn't realize Erickson has another year.
It's his his brother, his younger brother. He had another year from last year.
The other brother
he had some good
for,
size of receiver last year, if you remember.
His older brother's playing for UNM
Right.
now.
It's another run for a Las Cruces touchdown. Yeah, Las Cruces offensively, as Alden, our producer, Alden Niawani said, very balanced on offense. And you could tell they really open up the floodgates in scoring. There's Jace Melfi again. Oh, the great adjustment by the Manzano receiver there for another touchdown. But they just got too far down in the hole, and there's another touchdown by Las Cruces. And yet another one here as they're near the Manzano 1 yard line. Quarterback gets in or hands it off for a touchdown. There's another touchdown by Las Cruces. Set up a touchdown. Interference call on one of the Manzano defensive backs. I'll tell you what, Las Cruces look formidable, no question.
They're back.
Yeah.
You wondered that because they've been down the last couple of years.
This is the last touchdown.
Melfi breaking the pocket here.
Nice
Has the
throw.
receiver wide open. Jason Melfi made some plays for Manzano, but it wasn't enough, Roger. Las Cruces 55, Manzano 27. Do we have Valley? Do we have the last highlights of Cibola of Sandia?
We don't have that yet. We have
That is Chavez, third and long.
Let's take a look at this. And this
There
game
it is,
here,
top of the
Centennial
screen.
trailed
Cut
47 to
into the
18.
5
There's
into
a
the end
touchdown
zone.
early, and they
it's
actually came back. This is our My 50 game of the week. And Rio Rancho, I don't know if you saw this game or heard about it, Roger. They were leading 47 to 18, and Centennial came back and beat them in overtime.
What a stunner!
Yeah, that's a stunner, 54 to 53 in overtime. And see, the score there is tied 7-all. There's another touchdown from Centennial. Yeah, and wow, what a play
little
there.
luck there.
Tipped off a receiver into a waiting Centennial player for a long score. There's another touchdown by Rio Rancho. Isaiah Chavez, the quarterback for Rio Rancho. We expect him to have a big year.
Lots of scoring in this game, huh?
Oh, man, you're not getting an interception there by Rio Rancho. And I'll tell you what, when you're leading 47 to 18, man, geez, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you think it's over. Maybe everybody relaxes when you're winning that big. Sacked there by the Rio Rancho defense and a fumble. And it looks like they might have returned enough for a touchdown, but set up another score here for the Rams.
This is where it was 47.
So 1 point, Roger, 47 to 19. Let's watch the Centennial comeback here. 2 yard score there by the quarterback. And there's an interception, so they got some turnovers as well.
It's amazing they could come back that far behind
Incredible.
with the short amount of time they had.
There's a quarterback read, and looked like he was. Look at that.
Yeah, you got to wrap.
There's another Centennial receiver running free for another touchdown. And when you lose like that, Roger, it stuns you, right?
Yep.
There's no way we're supposed to lose when we're up by that. There's another Rio Rancho touchdown there. So overtime, they had their kick blocked, and Centennial gets it back, scores. They get the extra point, I believe, and that's the final. There it is, the final margin of victory right there.
What an amazing game.
And what a heartbreaking loss for Rio Rancho. But sometimes you would, and Roger, you've been part of football for a long time. You coached, you played, and I think sometimes when you lose like that, what I call it's a hangover without the alcohol, because you wake up the next day and you're still, you keep thinking about it. I know I would take losses as a coach and player very hard.
Yeah.
I'd wake up and I'd think, oh, if anything that reminded me, a paper article or
What's amazing is you had such big games right up front, big teams.
Right.
Like postseason games. And
La Cueva Volcano
if
Vista,
you aren't,
right out
if
the
you're not careful,
gate.
I remember years ago being part of the staff with Mike Loxley, and we lost 72-0 on the road against Oregon. And I'll never forget it. The then athletic director looked at me, Paul Grabs, and said, "Go ahead and pray." Mike Loxley said, "Go ahead and pray." And the players were crying. Our team never recovered emotionally. And that's the problem with those kind of big games. You got to, as a coach, you got to grab them back mentally. And when you lose that bad, these kind of games, there's a little bit of self-doubt, but I know Coach House and company, he'll have the troops ready for next week, because he'll say, "Look, you guys, we're still competing. We're competing with good teams."
Yeah, no question about it. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have the Lobo breakdown after these messages on the Sports Desk. Got a screen. Brown is set up nicely. Two blockers in front. Brown cuts it back 45, 40, 35, 30. He might take it to the house. LaShawn Brown is gone.
Tied out there. Trio's going to keep it this time, and he got through one, and he's going to hurdle into the end zone. Steps out of the pocket looking and fires too far. It was tipped, but then it's caught, and all the room in the world. Touchdown. Gonna hand it off to Acosta. Has all the room and is in. Touchdown for the win. Hernandez up and through, and Centennial have won it.
What a football game, though. Big heart, Mike.
Down a little bit here in the last few moments. Oh! There's a big right! And down goes Arturo.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No, bad dog.
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm Ed Nunez, along with my special guest, ProView color commentator, former Lobo University of New Mexico football chaplain, and also my good friend, Roger Holian. Raj, thanks so much again for being here.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
Raj, you know what? We're going to jump right into it because the Lobos, as we mentioned, play Sam Houston State this Saturday at 4. You know, I always look forward to every Lobo home opener. I live 10 minutes from the stadium. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's break down the offensive scheme, the offensive, what we think, a good article in the paper today said they might use 4 quarterbacks. They don't know who's going to start. J.J. Buck on the opening drive thought it would be Brant Hughes. We'll see, but you take it away, Roger.
Okay, well, essentially, I think most of the fans know the Lobos have had, you know, the last 2 years, 3-8, have been miserable. I mean, as far as from a wins and losses standpoint. In the classroom, they're doing great. They're setting records academically. They're
Which
doing
is
fantastic,
great, important.
which is the most important thing. And you got to kudos to the coaching staff there in the athletic department. Of course, you'd be less than naive if you didn't realize the pressure's on Coach Davey this year to win games. But I think he's made some strategic moves that should help the Lobos win more games this year. And we're going to go into the offense first. He hired Joe Daly from Liberty University. Of course, Liberty came down and spanked the Lobos. I think they scorched them for 50 points, 500 yards output.
They did.
And Coach Davey reached out to him, and I guess they exchanged. They hit it off well, and he's here now. And Joe Daly has an incredible background. I did a story. I'm writing for the Mountain West Wire now, covering the Lobos. And basically, Joe Daly played at the University of Nebraska in a triple option type format, played there 2 years, transferred to North Carolina. But if you see his story, he's had 5 different offenses that he's familiar with. The spread, the triple option, West Coast offense. So I was real impressed with that. Now looking at the Lobos this year, of course the projected starters, this is unofficial because I couldn't get UNM. I think Coach Davey's doing a press conference today. I think they're going to come out more officially, but I did a projected starters from 2 different national publications. And I find it interesting because the quarterback situation, in one publication has Tavaka Tuioti. Of course, last year starter before getting hurt against Wisconsin. And as a matter of fact, we're going to play a little segment of his skills on goal line here against Wisconsin.
All right, here we go. Tall.
This is in the first quarter last year against Wisconsin. Delane Hart-Johnson, I believe, on the reception there.
Tough 6'3" receiver. Just about played at the next level in the NFL. Is that good? I mean, that's the real deal.
Now, I was pumped when that happened.
Pumped. Yeah, so was Coach Davey. I mean, think about it. Here on the replay, it's a simple slant pattern, outreaches, great throw by Tui and company. Lobos are pretty excited. Of course, he would get hurt, and you kind of wonder, had he not been hurt, where the Lobos would have been last year. Because I think I saw the numbers on him when he's on the field. They win like 70% of the games versus, I think it was something like that Coach Davey was sharing, and I thought that was fascinating. One publication has Sherion Jones. Of course, Sherion Jones is a tall, long, athletic quarterback, and he's got a lot of skills. He's a little more long in the body as far as lengthwise. He's quick. Last year he came in and started a lot of the games with another quarterback, but he got the bulk of the snaps. But he did have a turnover problem, and I think he gave the ball up a big chunk. And I did an interview with him. He said he was really wanted to turn that situation around. He was excited because he felt like this offense was more geared toward him physically, and I believe that. Now, you've got 4 quarterbacks, and I read the Journal article. You've got Sherrion Jones. He's a 6'3" senior. You got Tavaka, who's a proven winner, but he's been out with his grandfather.
Right.
He's only had so many practices. I don't think he even scrimmaged. 8 practices. So, you know, you hear the Coach Davey talk about, you know, or the staff, about possibly starting 4 quarterbacks. That'll last half a game, trust me. Because what happens is...
Do you think all 4 quarterbacks will play?
They if they're in the lead. Most
that's a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's a lot of quarterbacks.
Continuity.
Yeah, I think that they'll probably get a couple snaps here and there, and a lot of it depends on the game as the game progresses. Promise you, if the quarterback comes in and he throws a touchdown right up front, he's going to probably stay on the field a little bit longer. But they have a junior college quarterback, Brent Hughes, incredible leader, fantastic strong arm. They've got a redshirt freshman, Trey Hall.
They like him too.
Yeah, all 4 of those quarterbacks are very athletic. And Coach Daly, if you read anything about his articles, I've done a lot of research on him. He said this offense, pretty much any smart quarterback with decent skills is going to do well. The more athletic they are, obviously they'll put more numbers up. But the projected starters this year, as far as running back, were Vigilant at 5'7", 180-pound sophomore, Amari Davis, 5'10", senior. And if you watch them in spring, I don't think any one running back actually stepped up and had huge games. So really, the sky's the limit. I think my personal opinion, and I was quoted in the Mountain West Wire for saying this, I believe the biggest strength of the Lobos this year will be their offensive line. They've got 8 starters back. They've got some really good athletes. I mean, look at the receivers they have. Elijah Lilly, I think he's got the Mountain West record, 14 yards after a catch.
The converted defensive back?
Yeah, there's nobody even near him as a wide receiver. And how about Marcus Williams, a tight end from
Cleveland?
Cleveland. He's had an outstanding spring. Yeah, you see him there. That guy is incredibly athletic. And then if you look at the wide receivers, Jay Griffin, oh my gosh.
How fast is he?
He's like the fastest guy in the Mountain West. Teton Salties in the Mountain West media interview said if he gets the ball, there's nobody going to catch him. He's the fastest guy in the Mountain West.
He's had some track records for the UNM track
He sure
team.
has.
Okay.
So if you're Joe Daly, I promise you, he's got schemes set up.
Offensive coordinator Joe Daly.
Offensive coordinator Joe Daly. He has schemes set up to get that guy the ball. Because you always want a guy in open spaces, and you want guys that are playmakers with the ball.
Hugh Drennan back or not? Hugh Drennan, the other receiver, I know he got hurt last year. Is he back?
I'm not too sure. I'm just
okay. If you don't have him on,
we've got Samoya, Elijah Lilly, and Jay Griffin is the wide receivers. Anselm Uma, 5'11", 176 pounds. He's quite the athlete. But here's the deal: the Lobos have a really good sized line. Teton Salties is 6'6", 284. That's a big offensive line.
You don't think he's pushing 300 yet? That's listed 284.
Yeah, he probably is. Yeah.
I mean, big.
Yeah, of course, he's a local kid from Valley.
Love that kid.
Fantastic young man.
And, you know, he's
a lot
doing
of potential.
things besides his football in the community. That guy is amazing.
Yeah, his priorities are straight. Yeah. Now, there's also Javon Mosley. Javon Mosley is 6'7" on the other side, 317 pounds. So we're talking
some bookends.
Yeah, we're talking. And then Kyle Stapley is the center.
The center.
6'3", 307. So this offensive line probably averages 300-something pounds each position. So if they can play well together, which they will, because a lot of them are starters, this is going to give Coach Davey and staff a leg up.
I wanted to say that last year, this is just my opinion, I thought they struggled on the offensive line, and I thought the defenses finally caught up to that triple option. Of course, Jarrell Presley and Terrion Gibson, explosive plays. You didn't see as many anymore, right?
No.
They didn't get I thought they had a harder time getting the edge, and that dive play, which was, they used to gain 3-4 yards. I thought they stuffed that a lot last year.
Yeah, they did.
Opposing defense.
Well, here's the deal. I had the benefit of watching the Lobo program for so many years, and I was on the sideline with Rocky, Coach Long. And if you notice, Coach Long's 3-3-5 defense that when he came in, That first year, they were ranked in the top 5 in the nation. Remember, they would blitz from every angle.
Oh, man.
3-3-5. Brian
Nobody could
Urlacher.
figure that out.
Yeah, Brian Urlacher running the strong safety, the Lobo position. He led the nation in tackles. Well, no teams had figured out the 3-3-5. And then you started to see other Mountain West teams run the same defense. What happens is any type of offense, any type of defense, those coaches in that division actually start catching on to it. So you've got to stay fresh. Now, here we have Coach Daly running a hybrid spread. And it's interesting because his words to me is he's going to combine old school with new school. And I'm really going to be excited watching the Lobo athletes in this offense. I think it's going to be fantastic to watch. I think the fans are going to get a more.
Let me ask you a question now. Calvin McGee tried some of that last year, right? What's the difference between Coach Daly's approach and Coach Calvin McGee's approach, who's gone? He's left after a year. What do you think the main offensive philosophical difference is?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know him personally, but by watching them, it seemed like the offense never got traction. And I don't know if it's the
continuity. Quarterback hurt. That did hurt.
Oh yeah, whenever you have injuries, that does that to you. Tui is a perfect example. But if you watch under Calvin McGee, there was never really a traction established in that offense. Could it be that they were still learning the offense? Yeah, very well could be. And you know, you can run any offense or any defense. Anybody's coach knows this. You can have all the greatest X's and O's and schemes. You still have to have personnel to run it.
Have to execute.
And I think, yeah. And I think this year, here you have, think about it, Coach Davey has brought in a brand new offensive coordinator. And normally that's a big change. We have a brand new defensive coordinator. Of course, Jordan Peterson, he was on staff. So he's not actually new, but he's new as far as the head position. And I think Cosgrove was there last year, and he's at LSU, I believe.
Right.
And along with Calvin McGee. But he does bring a lot more energy to the table. So, and then you have 17 junior college players. So all these pieces have got to fit. And you really can't test that until you play somebody. And I think this game against Sam Houston State is the perfect game for the Lobos to get tested in the secondary. They're playing a team. I was reading up on this team. And don't discount Sam Houston State. They're at the top of their game. And let me read this article. The Sam Houston Bearcats will enter another season as a nationally ranked team in 2019 after Stats FCS released its preseason poll on Monday, coming in at 23 in the nation. They are one of just 2 Southland Conference teams in the rankings, with preseason favorites Nicole's checking in at number 12. Defending champion North Dakota State received 142 first-place votes. So here you have an FCS team, the top of the echelon, and you got the Lobos FBS team.
Right.
And they're not at the top of their echelon.
So you're saying the same thing that Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck said this morning. It's going to be a formidable opponent. This is not going to be an easy victory. We're going to go to defense here in a minute, but I want to ask your opinion. You know, Lobos make their money and they eat by the running game, okay? That's always still, all the other spread stuff, the running game is still, and you mentioned the offensive linemen, and it's, you know, they've got some power and strength up front. Tell me what running back you think is going to get, or do you think, well, is there one of them that's going to get the bulk of the carries?
I think Mari Davis and Vigilant are the 2 guys that are going to be the go-to guys.
We can't wait to see them.
And they've got to have a guy that can get I call it the sloppy yards between the
dirty yards.
Yes, between the tackles. That 2 to 5 yard, you can run a spread, and the problem with the spread, it's 1, 2, 3 out, 1, 2, 3 out. So the clock never works against the opponent.
You got to kill the clock. We'll take a break and come back for the defensive breakdown for the UNM Lobos after these messages on the Sports Desk.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlings, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
The Sports Desk is proudly presented by Car Crafters. It's like it never happened.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that could happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Perez Collision Center is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks and Albuquerque Boxing. Perez Collision Center offers expert knowledge on any of your auto body and paint needs. Give them a call today, 505-254-4655, or stop by for a visit at 2415 2nd Street Northwest in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Perez Collision Center.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk, live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez, along with our special guest, a very good friend, also ProView Sports color commentator, Roger Holian. He's giving us a breakdown. Lobos play this Saturday. Plenty of tickets left, I'm sure. Roger, 4 p.m. against Sam Houston State. And it's still going to be broiling hot. I think the temperature around that, I think they said 90, 91. It's always hot this time of year anyway. So we want to encourage everybody. Bob Brown used to say this, the former ESPN radio host on the Bob Brown show. If it's a football town, you go, if it's 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we just want to see people out there, right? Yeah. You love the Lobos. You've been out to millions of games and right on the sideline. You have some of the best seats in the house. Let's get to the defensive breakdown. You did a great job on the offensive side of the ball. It's got me a little excited talking about those big linemen. Maybe they can control the line of scrimmage and impose will on other teams. Let's hope so. But let's talk about the defense. Name the defensive coordinator for us again.
It's Jordan Peterson.
Okay, talk about the defense because Alex Hart returns. I think the Sellers, the defensive end, is back. They didn't have them last year. You've got a lot of transfers there. Talk to us about the linebackers, the front line, and the secondary. What can we expect from the Lobo defense this year?
Well, before I do that, we're talking about attendance. I just want to encourage people to get out to the game. I mean, I got to tell you, these players deserve attendance. They work their rear ends off. And I was looking here, Lobo fans can take advantage of this outstanding offer to lock in the family season tickets, courtesy of Albertsons, that's their partner with UNM. Lobo families of 4 can attend all 6 home games at Dreamstyle Stadium for just $120.
Wow.
That's cheap.
Yeah, say that again, a family of what?
A family of 4 can attend all 6 games for $120. It's $105 savings off the regular family plan. I mean, come on. That's cheap.
Yeah.
You need to go to Chi-Town in Chicago and go to a Bear game and see $100. Anyway, back to the defense. Jordan Peterson takes over, and he's
from Coach Cosgrove, who's at LSU.
Yeah, Coach Cosgrove was the defensive coordinator there. Jordan Peterson was on staff. He was a positions coach. Positions are like quarterbacks and safeties and that type of thing. Not the coordinator. Coordinators are the guys that make decisions. Your offense, your defense. Rocky Long at San Diego State, he's got a defense coordinator, but he calls the plays. Some coaches do that. But here we have the defense, and he's going to be instilling the 3-3-5 defense.
Rocky Long's defense.
Yeah, that's their base defense. By base, I mean they alignment. Everything runs around that. The 3-3-5 is an incredible defense if it's run properly. The good thing about the 3-3-5, I'm very familiar with it. It's very aggressive. You can come from all different angles. You can blitz guys everywhere. And it's a nightmare. As a matter of fact, when Rocky Long ran this defense against Urban Meyer many years ago, when Urban Meyer, remember?
At Utah.
He was nationally ranked, right? 11-1, that year.
Beat him here?
Yeah, well, actually, he was there.
Okay.
Well, I was on the road.
I remember they beat him here one time, too.
Yeah, they were 11-1, and I heard Paul Krebs had made a comment. I thought it was Paul Krebs that that Urban Meyer said this defense is a nightmare for offensive coordinators.
Yes.
Because you just don't know where they're coming from. Now you have to run it properly. The good thing about it is you don't have to have a lot of defensive linemen. You're not running a 4-3 base or 4-2 or 4-2-5, 4 men up front is what I mean. You're running 3 guys, so you can alternate more defensive players.
Talk about
now,
the personnel levels we're going to use.
Well, before we do that, we're going to take a look at Aaron Blackwell, one of the defensive nose guards. And you tell me you're not impressed with this kid. He's 6'3", 288.
There's a sack right there by Blackwell. Oh, man, ripped right through him. What a play. And his size again, Roger?
He's 6'3", 288, guys. Look at this.
Being held, too.
Yeah. He gave fits to guards all year long. Look at that. Of course, this is against their Colorado State, the Rams. And if you look at him, he's just a highlight machine. Look at him. Boom. Thank you very much.
He's a year older and stronger. And
yeah.
Quicker. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to watching Aaron Blackwell this year. He's a beast. This guy squats close to 700 pounds. 688,
wow.
I believe.
Man,
so
that's impressive.
That's your nose guard now.
Yes.
And now he's running the 3-3-5. He's not running a zero technique, the zero technique on top of the center. He's running more of the one shade, which is between the guard, the center, and the guard, and the 3 technique. And he said it's allowed him to flow more frequently, to fly to the ball, if you will. I tell you what, they got Trent Sellers back. Trent Sellers' dad played
defensive end.
Yeah, and this kid's dad played at Auburn. And as you remember, he had a fantastic spring. And Coach Davies excited about him. If you saw him, he's a big kid. I think he was named a captain this year as well. But he was off a year. He had a great spring, got hurt. He's been off a year. So I always look at those kind of factors because you got players, they're so hungry to come in. Trent Sellers, Aaron Blackwell, Najah Flowers, 6'3", 278. That front is going to be extremely important for the Lobos for defense to put pressure on the, to stop between the gap type of running. My concern, and I think Coach David mentioned this too, is they're thin at that position. They don't have a lot of guys at the position. New Mexico can ill afford injuries. And all of these plans are centered around that team staying healthy. So when they play Sam Houston State, hopefully they come out with a victory. 2 weeks later, they play Notre Dame on the road. And, of course, it's Notre Dame. And your goal is to not lose by so much. You want to win the game, obviously, but it's Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
But it's to stay healthy. But some of the guys, Devin Sanders, Alex Hart, of course.
The linebacker?
Inside linebacker. He's 6'3", 235, tore his ACL last year, kid from Minnesota. Great leader. As a matter of fact, I believe he's another one of the leaders on the team. Excellent leader. Excellent. He just carries himself so well. It's funny, I was at practice a couple times, and you get a feel for these players when they walk by. I'm pretty decent at reading kids. Aaron Blackwell, that guy's a beast. He's a guy you want to take to a fight with you. He's just
he'd probably clean it up by
himself. Yeah, he's a no for
what fight?
Yeah,
he shows up, it's over.
Yeah, I really believe that kid can play at the next level. I really do. If he has
the physical attributes you're describing, squatting 700 pounds and running a 3.35 40.
Yeah, and he's got a motor. Yeah, I don't know what his 40 is, but you have Alex Cart, Brandon Shook, outside linebacker. These are projections, guys. Eric Coffey, Dijon Rogers, cornerback. Eric Coffey, cornerback, and I believe he's a big-time player. Coffey as well. Patrick Peak, Shadrick Lowry. And if you look at this defense, this defense is going to be, I think the defense is going to have the biggest challenge.
Roger, I want to ask you this because this has always been a concern of Lobo defenses of the past. I want to ask about the secondary. It's always been a concern. They always seem to struggle there.
Yeah, they've struggled the last 2 years. I mean, just call it for what it is. Their defensive secondary pass coverage was horrendous. I mean, this is why Joe Daly came in, and they had that big receiver, Gandry Jones, I believe is his name. He looks like a pro. He made the Lobos made his stock go up because he was just such a big hit. You're always going to face these 6'3", 6'4", long-armed receivers with good speed, and you have to play well. The thing about this defense is you've got to fly to the ball. And you've got to, especially the 3-3-5, the corners, they play man on man. They're out on a corner. That's why Rocky Long, when he ran this defense, he would really recruit recruiters like cornerbacks like Brandon Payne, who's All-American, and Jarrell
Fulbright.
Persley, Fulbright, rest in peace. He was a great guy. He used to go to all my chapels. They were fantastic corner guys. You have to have good corner play in the 3-3-5 or it's over.
Roger, we got to wrap it up, but give us your prediction for Saturday again. Sam Houston State at Dreamstyle Stadium, 4 p.m. Give us your prediction.
Well, my heart says, my
always
head,
New Mexico.
Yeah, always a Lobo fan. Lobos come out with a victory. I do think this is going to be the biggest test of the year for them in the secondary more than anything. And I think you're going to start to see the offense, and they'll look kind of, how it is. You're still playing your first game. You don't. It's like, even in basketball in high school or football, you never know how good you are until you actually play somebody and have adversity. And we'll see how the Lobos respond. And I think Coach Davey, you got to give him this. He knows his X's and O's. He knows his stuff when he's football.
He's a good football coach.
And he made these decisions. He's going to live and die by these decisions. That's how it is. But at least he made the decisions. If it's not working, he changes something. And I'm hoping the Lobos can start getting ready for league play, come in healthy, and contend for something.
We'll see what happens. Roger Holian, ProView Sports color commentator. Thanks so much for being our guest.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We really appreciate it. We'll be back with ProView President Steve Davis after these messages on the Sports Desk.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk, live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm Ed Nunez, along with ProView President Steve Davis. Steve, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, I want a hard act to follow, Roger Holian. What a class act. All the things he does with ProView Networks, also all the things he does for the community is just a top-notch, great person.
Yeah, you know what? I asked him to break the Lobos down and the opponent, and he did a great job. He really made me look forward to that game even more than I was already looking forward to it. He gave a lot of great information out there, so thanks to our special guest, Roger Holian. Steve, a lot of great games in our first week. If we could, Alden, could you put the top 10 polls from Manny Lucero? Manny Lucero just started sending out those top 10 polls, and there were some surprises in the first week of our football schedule, and we had some great games on our channel, that's for sure. And Alden's getting up our
well, I want to let people understand we had some.
There's our top 10.
There it is, right there. We can read them.
I believe Cleveland's number 1. Volcano Vista is number 2. La Cueva, there we go. That's bloated up a little bit more.
3.
And La Cueva number 3. And Centennial, wow, what a victory Centennial had. Clovis number 6. El Dorado 7. Rio Rancho number 8, Carlsbad number 9, and Cibola, a surprising Cibola number 10. Let's look at Class 5A. Las Lunas number 1, Roswell number 2, Artesia number 3, Goddard number 4, Berlin number 5, Piedra Vista at number 6, Farmington at number 7, Deming at 8, Del Norte number 9, and Santa Teresa number 10. Now, Steve, I don't know, our game of the week, our My 50 game of the week is going to be in Clovis. Is that right?
Well, I tell you, that's what I was going to say. And guess who they're playing number 1?
Las Lunas.
So it's going to be a good matchup. It's good for ProView Networks. It's good for the state. So looking forward to going down and seeing Cal Fullerton. Actually going to get to, he's going to be on the Steve Davis show next week. So that's going to be neat to see in Leon Williams Stadium. So
you're a former Wildcat, so it's got to mean something for you to go down there. I talked to Las Lunas head coach Jeremy Maupin. I write for Enchantment Sports, and I'm going to be writing a preview of 5A this week. And Coach Maupin's excited. He said he doesn't know much about Clovis, but
he's going to learn.
Oh man, they hit the road last week. Oh, you bet he's going to learn.
Yeah.
That's a game of the week for sure. They hit the road last week. Las Lunas beat Oñate, Piedra Vista 28-0. And I asked him. I said, "Well, what does it mean to go down to Leon Williams?" He had the greatest respect for the Wildcats and head coach Cal Fullerton, of course, the son of Dale Fullerton, who you've known for many years. So that's going to be a great game. That's going to be a great matchup.
It is, and it's just great that I think the excitement of Clovis having that game might be the first statewide game ever played in Clovis.
And the Wildcats had fallen on some hard times recently, but I'll tell you what, they're ranked, as we mentioned, at number 6 this week. So that's going to be a heck of a matchup. But Steve, I wanted to go over a couple of these games with you. And number one, the one we had on Thursday night, which was James Yotis had Volcano Vista ranked number 1 and La Cueva ranked at number 2. And La Cueva, Volcano Vista beat them 36-25. Now we don't know the status of Volcano Vista transfer quarterback Diego Pavia. He turned an ankle. And if he can't go, and then their second-string quarterback is hurt too. He's hurt too. He's got a bad hip, so they might have to go to their third string. But that was a heck of a game, Steve, the first to open the season.
Well, I think all the games, really, Clovis going down and beating Hobbs. I mean, and then Carlsbad beating, as you said, Artesian, and then what a game we had with Rio Rancho and Centennial, and overtime, first game of the year to have an overtime. But I guess where I'm going with this is that we're seeing a lot of teams, all the games were close, and they were all down to the wire. It didn't matter who was playing who. It just seems like whoever paid for their tickets got their entertainment down to the last quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, Gary, former Highland head coach Gary Sanchez and I covered Cibola and
what
Sandia.
A great job he did. I watched that game last night on Channel 26. And
he's awesome, isn't
he? I tried to call him and then him tell him you guys were awesome.
Yeah, great. He's fun to work with. But Aiden Chavez, the Cibola quarterback, I talked to Marty Watts last night, and he said that no one has ever thrown a freshman quarterback 6 touchdowns, 428 yards. James Yotis thought that was a first. And I'll tell you, Aiden Chavez took over for Stephen Badella, who was the quarterback at Cibola, and he got injured this summer. Now, Stephen Badella is also a defensive back, and he'll play. But when he comes back, I'll tell you what, Aiden Chavez is going to be hard to unseat from that position there.
Well, it's a good thing for Coach.
Good problem to have for Rod Williams.
For Rod Williams, good problem to have, and that's one thing that he's lacked in the deal. It's not his depth for the whole season.
I think Cibola surprised us. And I'll say this too: Chad Adcox and LaShawn Joseph, the Sandia running back, had a wonderful game. A wonderful game. He scored 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing, near 100 yards receiving. He had just a wonderful game. But Aiden Chavez, the freshman, Chad Adcox blitzed him from the right, from the left, and up the middle. And this kid stood in there and made the throws. He's also got receivers in Mikey Garcia and Elijah Spalding that can get yards after the catch. So I think Cibola is going to be a team that people may not have looked at. They're number 10 in this week's poll, but you better watch out for them.
Chad Adcox, makes a statement that he was not prepared. I mean, and as great as coach as he was, this young athlete caught him by surprise. They weren't expecting him to throw as many times, and he says he threw everything that he knew in the book this early in the season with his new program at Sandia, and he was really caught off guard.
Gannon Chavez was the former Cibola quarterback. I talked to Marty Watts last night. And so Aiden Chavez they've had 2 quarterbacks in the family before Aiden Chavez. His father's an assistant on the staff. He's been, according to Marty, to several quarterback schools and camps. And I'll say this, Steve, he showed a lot of, I've got Oñate and Cibola this Friday. I'm looking forward to it because this kid, for a freshman, he's 6'4", and he's not real muscular yet, but I'll tell you, he stood in there and made the throws under two guys right in his face. And like I said, Mikey Garcia and Elijah Spalding with the runs after the catch, they've got speed. I think this is, again, a team that is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
You know what? And I think Alden will attest to this. He's over there. We're talking about, he thinks they can go 2-0 this week. So.
Well, Alden Iowani, the former Cibola safety, he's a Cougar at heart, man. So, the other team I wanted to talk about, and it's kind of dear to my heart, Highland beats Rio Grande 41-18. The Hornets, they've been, a lot of people have been talking about the program and the shrinking numbers. They actually got some more players to try out, and I thought that was really good. That Highland's numbers increased.
If I'm correct, I had an extra 20 people show up.
An extra 20. After we had him on the show, and I'm not saying that was the whole thing, but I think that's good that he's getting the good attention to keep that program going.
Well, like I said, historically and tradition, Highland, you're a graduate of there. I mean, we don't want to let that go.
No, you know what? When I still think about the blue and gold, in fact, I'm going to the assembly here in a little while. The other game I wanted to talk about, and there's many, but I think when you mentioned when you mentioned Rio Rancho and Centennial, now Roger Holian said this too. Rio Rancho led that game 47-18, and Centennial storms back and wins in overtime 54-53. Now David Howes has a quick turnaround, and he's got to get his kids ready. But sometimes, as Steve, I used to call those losses hangovers without the alcohol, because you're so distraught and you can't believe that you lost the game, so the Rams have to recover quickly.
They do. I mean, but I think everybody understands, there's a lot of, like I tell you, there's a lot of football to be played. If you're going to lose a game or you have a setback, it's good to have it early. That way you can make adjustments for the future. Now's
the time to do it. We got about a minute left. Steve, I want to talk about the fight card up at Buffalo Thunder. That's the first time Pettis Legacy Boxing Showcase or Promotions went up to Buffalo Thunder. Thought, we did Legacy Boxing Showcase yesterday, and Austin Killeen, who's the color commentator for Adam Deal on the fights, thought it was one of the best fight cards he ever saw.
Well, I tell you what, I was there, and it was the atmosphere was great. The hospitality was great, and again, Jordan and Aaron Perez, they do a first-class operation with their boxers, and we need to get involved. We need to support them more.
I'll tell you, Matthew Papitas Escobar, kind of a little bit of a surprise there. Got knocked down and TKO'd, but he'll be back. He'll be back.
Oh, I'm sure he will. I mean,
So he's a heck of a fighter. Got about a minute left, Steve. Anything going on this week? You want to, again, ProView Network?
Just go through the games.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's just start, see if I can read this right.
Yeah,
Sandy and Atrisco on Thursday night, and Bali and La Cueva on Thursday night. And then on Friday, we have Clovis game of the week, Los Lunas and Clovis on My 50. And then on the Comcast Channel 26, we have Oñate and Cibola. And then on Saturday, we have Las Cruces at El Dorado.
Oh, gosh, great schedule again of football that we're going to be covering on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on the NFHS network. That'll do it for this week's edition of the Sports Desk. I want to thank Roger Holian, our special guest, also ProView President Steve Davis. For our producer, Alden Iowani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.
Sports Desk is proudly presented by Car Crafters. It's like it never happened.